my blade. Then let's go! Let's see if you can ward off this fate!
Do it.
Hello, my name is Desarde. I'm...
Good day, Legate de Sarde.
I am Siora, daughter of Bladne, daughter of Meb. My mother,
All here remember, and devote. But you are not yet Mal in her stead, and you do not carry her. I am sorry, Siora. I cannot...
I beg your pardon. I did not know.
Here is the seal of the Denegad Katasach, of the village of Wenchavier.
And so you are a trusted friend of the great healer. He must see your true face and find it. Enter. You...
I give you warm greetings, Glendan. I am Desarde.
Your merchant congregation sways me very slightly from my path. But you are a current of Katasach. His trust in you makes me stop and look at you.
I seek a remedy. My cousin, as well as many other people on our island, we think that only Enon Miel Frictaman can help us find...
Really? And Katasach?
He told me that the only way to meet with your god was to come and see you. You would judge
your intentions. But even if I should do this, for the path you seek to follow has only been tread but a very few. We must begin where everything begins. There is a trial.
What must I do?
You must go to a cavern and tell me what you see on the seal you will find deep in it.
And this cavern is guarded, I suppose.
That is true. But the simplest solution is not always the best. It is a path with many forks. I hope you will prove that you understand this. Go now. Show us your true face.
I must leave.
Qua awelem said.
You have spoken to Glendon as you wanted. What more can I do for you?
I was asked to pass the trial of water. What do you know?
I have never passed it. Only those who must reveal their soul walk this path. The High Kings and Queens. It is a tremendous honor given to you, Renaigse.
Do you have any advice to give me?
I only know that the trial can be passed in many ways, and your one way is through strength, the other by ruse and harm. But I know no more than this. Anything else?
Nothing else, thank you.
Good luck.
Siora, do you know anything about the trial that awaits us inside?
My mother passed it during the last election, but it was Vinbar that was elected in the end.
Did she tell you about it?
A little, but it is a secret trial. It is important that you give your whole heart to it. I know that you must choose your path in your way. Combat is not necessarily the best response, even if it allows you to get to where you are going. If you are confronted with animals, remind yourself that they must feed. And there are ways of altering food to make those who eat it fall into a deep and peaceful sleep.
Is that an idea that your mother used? It's clever. Thank you.
Karans, I must do everything I can, so...
Maybe later.
I understand. Anything else?
I must pass the trial of water.
I have heard it talked about. One says that the trial reveals the true personality of those who pass it. My mother passed it.
Did she tell you about it?
A little, but it is a secret trial. I know that you must choose your path in your way. Combat is not necessarily the best response, even if it allows you to get to where you are going. If you are confronted with animals, remind yourself that they must feed. And there are ways of altering food to make those who eat it fall into a deep and peaceful sleep.
Is that an idea that your mother used? It's clever. Thank you.
Anything else?
I must leave you.
They're eating the old carcass. If you poured some sleeping potion on it, they'd fall asleep.
I do not have a sleeping potion on me.
Poison on my blade. Then let's go!
This room is full of beasts that the natives call dorsentats. They seem to be resting. Perhaps we can pass without waking them if we move silently.
Watch out, Anadag! You were freezing and you had this empty stare. The water in the basin spoke to you, no?
Yes. Exactly like the lightning-struck tree. I was something else for a brief moment.
Tell us. Visions like this are guides, keys for the sacred rituals.
I was in the sky. I was floating, carried by the wind. And it was a cold feeling. I was high up, and it was getting colder and colder. I felt my blood freezing in my veins. I fell to the ground and spun slowly. And then the sun warmed me. Suddenly I bounced on the ground. And I was taken by the bubbling current of this creek. Then, just like before, the vision dissipated. And I was suddenly with you again. This stone bears the image of a storm. Or perhaps the wind. On this stone, the sun is visible. The drawing on this stone makes me think of... This drawing looks like an infant. Here this looks like a snowflake. This stone is adorned with the etching of a drop. This stone is blackened, eaten away. I think it's supposed to evoke death. This stone bears the image of a storm. Or perhaps the wind. I already lit this candle. Evidently, I shouldn't have lit this candle. I must have lit the candles in the wrong order. I must have lit the candles in the wrong order. Evidently, I shouldn't have lit this candle. I must have lit the candles in the wrong order. Evidently, I shouldn't have lit this candle. Evidently, I shouldn't have lit this candle. This must be the seal that Glendan spoke about. It looks like the silhouette of the mountain of Tearfredi, and a face is drawn within it.
The spirit of the volcano. One of the faces of Einar Mýrfryktaman.
Ber tir to mad on Olmanawi.
And so you have returned. Can you tell me what the seal deep within the cavern brings into your mind?
A face in the mountain of Tearfredi.
Then you have seen the true face of the island when looking into her waters. And the island has seen inside you. You have given the blood of the animals that protected the entrance to the passage. You have chosen strength a first time. In choosing the path of silence, you avoided confronting the Dosantats. Finally, you have completed the ritual. And in so doing, the Guardian recognized you as a wise man. You choose to trust the way of rules and wisdom. It is a difficult path, but it carries generous fruits. The island has seen your intelligence and also your compassion. The friend...
Am I authorized to encounter Einar Mýrfryktaman now? to present him with my...
If the High King agrees, yes. We shall not oppose that decision. Only a High King or High Queen is allowed to open the sanctuary. I warned you. Your voyage is far from over.
I suppose that I'm going to need to convince them as well. Where can I find them?
I do not know. And I believe that it may be another trial on your path to find the one you seek.
Is he hiding? Has he been captured?
He disappeared several months ago. Since then, we have not heard from him. The last people to have seen him, I'm told, were the most important chiefs. There was Deirdre, Blatnid, Ulan, and Dunkas.
My mother, alas, can tell us nothing more.
Yes. I heard about your loss, Siora. And the Vorst Tirse.
And the Vorst Tirse. Thank you, Glyndon.
Deirdre is the Mal of the clan of the Storm Warriors. You will find her in the village of...
I've already met her. She sent me to confront a guardian.
That sounds like her. Ulan is the Mal of the village of Vignamri, near the coast. It is said that he welcomes the Renaigse. As for Dunkas, he leads the Vigigidor. He is the chief of the Earth Healers.
Very well. I will go and see them. Try to find this High King. Thank you, Glenda.
Kwa awalam sek.
Lieutenant, I demand an explanation. Tell us what is going on. We haven't heard anything about Lord D'Orsay's condition in spite of our inquiries. We are extremely worried. And then, all of a sudden, one of his guards appears, shaken and on his own, though he is part of his retinue.
Please, allow me the chance to shed some light, my lady.
Your soldier is nothing more than a coward for abandoning his highness.
Tell me, what is going on?
This soldier has just reported in. He is asking for reinforcements. He believes that Lord D'Orsay has been attacked.
He believes. He ran here without full knowledge of what happened firsthand.
I was sent on patrol far from the camp, but I heard screams, from men and from beasts. I wanted to return to camp, but then I heard a deafening sound, grinding, like a landslide. I thought then it would be best just to go and get help.
Thank you, Lieutenant. You are dismissed. I would like to have a discussion with this man alone.
Yes, sir.
My lady, could you lead these fine people into the hallway, if you would be so kind?
Certainly. I deplore this embarrassing turn of events. But know that you have my full support in all circumstances.
In the interest of avoiding a general panic, tell me precisely what happened back there.
Your cousin ordered us to escort him beyond the town limits. The Islander convinced him to go on some journey.
By Islander, do you mean the Denegad that came to...
Yes, a strange bird. I was ordered to set up patrol along a small path. Rather, I was told to protect our perimeter from anyone. According to the Islander, it was the only access to their planned destination. Not a soul came along. But then I heard cries a ways off. I heard an enormous crashing sound like an avalanche of rocks. So then I turned right back around.
And you ran all the way here? Do you know precisely where the
No, not precisely. I hadn't gone there. But the Islander said they were following the path. But he was quite a ways ahead when...
Why didn't you go and look for yourself?
What? Alone? Well, what could I have done? It seemed of greater urgency to go and get help.
I'm still having trouble deciding if cowardice or intelligence got the best of you. But that's a question for your superiors. My cousin was quite weak. Do you know why he decided to follow the Denegad?
His Highness was feeling much better. The potions that he was drinking must have been potent. I mean to show no disrespect to His Highness, but that Islander had the high ground in the War of Wits. I wasn't privy to their counsel. I haven't the beginning of an explanation for the expedition. But your cousin was all full of enthusiasm and ordered that we set out as quick as we could make ready.
That sounds like him. What sort of...
I am sorry, sir, but I don't...
Dismissed, soldier. Looks like I'm going on an expedition.
Thank you, sir.
On Almanawi. It is time I returned to my people, took up the torch and continued my mother's work. I have learned a lot by your side, but my people and my sister need me.
Don't you want to stay with us a while longer?
No. I have made my decision. Qua awalam seg on Almanawi.
my blade. And let's go!
This is the camp that Constantine's escort must have established.
Someone or something attacked and tore everything to shreds. This seems all too familiar.
Search the zone. Let's see if we can find any clues as to what's happened here. The tents were lacerated by what looks like claws, and there are traces of blood everywhere. Some of these men must have been attacked in their sleep. By beasts? Most of the weapons are missing. Our soldiers wouldn't have taken a rest without defenses. Our soldiers were attacked by surprise, and there were animals among the assailants. However, our men reacted properly. They were armed and they fled as best they could. There are no bodies, and no sign of Constantine or Catasac's presence here. Perhaps they were in another place, and the soldiers wanted to join them. We need to follow the tracks. This area has been trampled. An entire stampede passed by here. Our soldiers must have fled the zone and taken this path followed by their assailants. This is a sacred place of a native cult. No doubt this is where Catasac and Constantine were going. There are bodies, and without a doubt there was fighting here. Search the place. Let's see what we are able to find. The corpses of both men and beasts. These soldiers fought dearly until the end. Neither Constantine nor Catasac are among them. Crater, without a doubt caused by an explosive potion. The soldiers might have been carrying them. They must have been desperate to have taken such drastic measures. This blade is a native ritual knife, and this bowl contained a potion. Someone wanted to perform a ritual here. Could Catasac have found a better means to alleviate Constantine's symptoms? Constantine and Catasac must have been visiting this place. Perhaps performing some sort of healing ritual. When the attack took place, the soldiers intervened, and many fell during the fight. But a group was able to escape down this path. We need to continue following their tracks. More tracks. Footprints. They must have fled this way. Strange. These trees look half calcinated, as if they were exposed to immense heat. These weapons are in terrible condition. Whatever did these men come up against? Another burnt tree. This path seems to have been scorched in flames. I can't believe that our soldiers could be carrying so many explosive potions. These poor soldiers were torn to pieces. Animals again, or something else. New footprints. It looks as if a group met up with them and took this path. There was more fighting over here. There are not only the corpses of our own men, but where could these other soldiers have come from? More signs of explosions. But what were they doing with all these explosives on them? Footprints. Only a handful made it up to here. The path stops on this overhang, and despite signs of a skirmish, I can't see any sign of Constantine or Katasach. These rocks were broken, as if they had taken cannon fire. What could have happened here? These vials look familiar. Katasach used the very same to stock his potions. He must have come here. I'm going to pick them up. I recognize this sack. It's my cousin's. Oh, Constantine, what have you gotten yourself into again? I don't recognize these men. Still more unknown soldiers. Could they have been responsible for the attack? This one is carrying a letter. Let's see. According to this note, these men came from a nearby camp, an old outpost of the Alliance taken over by the Coin Guard. They could well have decided to finish what they'd planned in New Serene. Very well. Let's sum things up. Constantine and Katasak definitely came through here to perform some sort of an attack, obviously involving wild animals. And then there are these traces of
No colonist understands how to control the fauna of this island. Whereas for the native wise men...
You believe Katasak could have orchestrated this attack?
Who else? You know all too well that with your cousin a hostage, you would be obliged.
He would then have only accepted to treat him in order to gain his trust. But regardless of who is guilty, I must find... We could return to Wen Xavier to learn more. Perhaps Katasak returned there. Or maybe his Voglendai could tell us where to find him. We are also going to have to visit the outpost. Their soldiers were involved in the combat, or at least the end of it.
And you think that they would have taken Constantine? Is that possible? Maybe he... But if you suspect them to have participated in the combat to capture him, I think you're wasting your time. I know the captain of that outpost. A pessimistic man who would never order an attack without being absolutely certain of total victory without losses.
Perhaps. Unless he was simply obeying orders. It does belong to the Coin Guard, after all. However, one way or another, Constantine is in danger. Let us be on our way without further delay.
Bit of poison on my blade. Then let's go! Yeah!